This is what it's like to play football in the most secretive country on earth.
So playing North Korea in 2007, if I can just set the scene, we weren't allowed to bring any communication devices. We weren't allowed to bring any personal belongings. When we arrived into the country, it was very, very quiet. And then this very monotone colour scheme wherever you walked. So I remember driving on the bus and looking out into the streets and thinking there's absolutely no one around.
That was Melissa Barbieri. She's the former captain of the Matildas, and she was goalkeeper last time Australia played North Korea in North Korea.
When we walked in, the stadium was absolutely full to the brim, and we'd arrived 2 hours early. So all these people were coming to the game to watch us.
According to the match report, there were 30,000 people there, and the Matildas lost 2-0. Melissa was disappointed, but she was not surprised.
Every time they got the ball, it was succinct, it was confident. It had a level of authoritarianism. It felt like they were superior to us, and they knew it, and they had an attitude of it every time they stepped onto the pitch.
Korea DPR successfully defend their title.
So how does one of the poorest countries on earth, a country that's basically shut off from the rest of the world, quietly become a football powerhouse?
The new world champions have won 5-2.
While men have been playing in FIFA World Cup since 1930, women didn't get the chance until 1991.
Women's football in 1990 was, at that time, there wasn't any powerhouse in men's football. There are Brazil, Germany, Argentina. In women's football, it was like some kind of Wild West.
It would have been a very strategic decision to invest in women's football.
China hosted the first Women's World Cup, and North Korean leaders couldn't help but notice the attention their neighbours were getting.
The exotic setting of South China is the venue for the first ever Women's World Championship final.
Because China is also Asian nations and neighboring nations, and also same communist regimes. Those Korean government in general use sport politically very well.
It is a sport where they don't have to invest so much, and yet they can excel.
Throughout the early 90s, the North Korean government invested heavily in women's football. Football training was added to the school curriculum, teams were set up in the military, and scouts were sent across the country to find the best young talent. The results soon followed. By the early 2000s, they were dominant.
In the heat and humidity of Vietnam, the Matildas were outplayed from the opening whistle.
Pretty quickly, a selection in the women's national team was not just a privilege, it was genuinely life-changing.
The elite athlete, particularly internationally competitive ones, they received the right to live in capital city in Pyongyang.
The country is very divided between the haves and haves not. The few million who have permission to live in Pyongyang and live in relative comfort, and then the rest of the population living in pretty dire poverty.
Most of what you've seen of North Korea is more than likely the capital Pyongyang, like this, and this, and this.
A state-of-the-art indoor bowling alley. It's hardly what you'd expect to see in this hardline communist country.
It's almost kind of like an Oz, not Oz in terms of Australia, but Oz in the terms of the Wizard of Oz.
There's Emerald City. Oh, we're almost there at last.
What they hope to do, what the party, the ruling party hopes to do, is to inspire people to be loyal enough to the party, to work hard enough that they can someday get to this city of Oz.
In 2013, the Pyongyang Football School was opened, where boys and girls aged 7 to 17 would live, go to school, and train, almost all the time.
North Korea trained them in a very systematic programs. They train like the army in football.
And it's worked. In the last couple years, North Korea have won every Junior World Cup.
Their third global title at this level of the women's game, and fully deserved.
When you read some of the quotes from winning players, you can see why the government invests so heavily in them. This is a clip of the under-17 team meeting Kim Jong-un after winning last year's tournament.
It's a way for the regime to instill a sense of national pride.
When the under-17 team made the final, the government played the game across big screens throughout the capital, albeit 3 days later.
Normally, they show the recording of the performance when they perform well. And if they lose, I don't think they show any game, those games to the public.
In North Korea, they like to present just the prettiest or the most beautiful picture of what life could look like.
Korea DPR take the trophy and the glory. They take it all.
The pressure to win is intense. In 2011, 5 North Korean players were done for doping. The government said that they took a natural Chinese medicine after they were struck by lightning at a training camp, but FIFA didn't buy it, and they were banned from the 2015 World Cup.
While they're exceptional, they're talented, they work so hard, I always try to keep in mind the pressure that they're under as well, because they're representing their country and often because they don't have a whole lot of choice in the matter.
Since then, they've barely played on the world stage, but now they're back and they look really good.
Already, DPR Korea in the driving seat.
Already in their first match, I just saw the DPR Korea of old.
Yong Yoo-jong for the hat-trick.
Every touch, the fluidity of movement, just orchestrated to a T, and I feel like it was scary watching them again.